Did you know that the average person only wears 20% of their clothes 80% of the time? Hi, I'm Sarah McLaughlin. My other great love on YouTube, aside from thrifting and vintage clothing YouTube, is gaming YouTube, which I don't actively take part in because can you imagine me wearing cat girl headphones? Ridiculous, I know. But I've been watching a lot of videos lately about speedrunning, weird speedrunning challenges, a lot of Breath of the Wild but you can't turn left type shit. You might think I'm making that up, but it's actually real. I've also been watching a lot of Pokemon videos related to the Nuzlocke challenge, popularized recently by Jaden Animations. So the Nuzlocke challenge is a set of rules that have been created basically to make playing your standard milquetoast run-of-the-mill Pokemon game a lot more interesting for seasoned pros. The rules of a Nuzlocke are you can only catch the first Pokemon you see on a route. Once a Pokemon passes out in battle, they're out of the game for good, and you have to name the Pokemon so you'll feel worse when it dies, which is the kind of sadism that I can really get behind. This idea of a sudden death style challenge kind of started to appeal to me. And I thought, what if there was a way to basically translate that into dressing, into fashion? I came up with the idea that for an entire month, I would basically only be able to wear an item once. And this idea was kind of spurred by the fact that I'm really a creature of habit when it comes to clothing. I will very much zero in on one corner of my wardrobe and wear that all the time. And even if I sort of do cycle in some of those weirder or lesser worn pieces, they're always with the same like 3 pairs of jeans or the same 3 leather jackets or the same 4 sweaters. This is especially the case in the winter time for me, when it just becomes like mock neck sweater and pants season. Doubly so when you're working at home during a pandemic and you don't really have a reason to put on that cute dress and boots and tights. You may as well just wear something comfy. So needless to say, I've been in a little bit of a rut lately. I created for myself a set of ground rules that I would follow for the next 30 days. Rule number 1 for this wardrobe speedrun Nuzlocke challenge: no repeating items until the 30 days were up. This included bags, coats, shoes, jewelry. I was actually kind of trying to give myself some wiggle room. I was like, well, surely we can't do bags. I mean, taking stuff out of my bag every day and putting it into another bag, that could eat up literally seconds of my day. And then I was like, dude, you own so many bags. Just use the bags, wear the bags. Also, it's not like I leave the house more than once every 3 days these days. Lady, wear the bags. The second rule is that seasonal items and items that don't currently fit were off limits. If by some reason I were to sort of reach the end of my closet, I wasn't going to make myself wear shorts in the middle of January because I had no pants left, for example. Rule 3, slippies were off limits. I own 1 pair of slippers. They're covered in paint. They're from Costco, and you're gonna see them a lot in these try-ons. So I started keeping a log just in a Word document on my computer of what I wore every day, just to make sure that I had it recorded somewhere. And I also took little clips of everything I wore so I could stitch them all together to make this video. Midway through, I realized I had actually repeated an item, and so I decided as penance that I would add an extra day onto the end, so this became a 31-day challenge. I also realized at the end I'd actually, on my last day, I wore something a second time, so be advised that I will be out flagellating myself in the town square for this after this video is up, off camera. So here's how that month went. a few weeks since I wrapped this up. I am now back to re-wearing the same shit I always wear. Old habits die hard, I guess. I want to share with you a little bit about how it went. Hi. Hello. Bonjour, hi. Kat, do you want to be part of the video? Can I wear you like a scarf? We're gonna get a full, 30 seconds before he bails, I promise you.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Alright, fine. You've been a good enough sport. Dude, out of my shot. The first thing I noticed over the course of this month, which is that it took me a lot longer to get dressed in the morning. Normally, getting ready in the morning, I would just go throw on whatever and get on with my day. The problem was now I had to sort of think about what I'd already worn and mentally take all of those things out of the rotation and then kind of spend time figuring out new combinations of things. I probably am like a lot of people in the fact that I sort of have in mind, oh, well, these 6 things go with these 6 things, and so I can just kind of grab those, throw them on, get on with it. The nature of this challenge forced me to sort of be like, okay, well, you know, I guess I want to wear like this button down that I never wear today, but like, how do I do that? And I can't wear it with any of the sort of 6 or 7 basics that I always wear with things that don't really get rotated in a lot, because I'm saving those for later because I don't want to blow those too early in the month. I don't want to burn through all of the stuff that I always wear because it's comfortable and because I sort of know how to style it, because then I'll just sort of be out of ideas. So there was a whole lot of me just kind of standing in my closet trying stuff on, you know, and it's hilarious because no one's gonna see me aside from my coworkers on Zoom, right? If expediency is the name of the game for you, you might find this difficult also. Another thing was that I basically just stopped wearing things like jewelry almost entirely because, again, I just couldn't be bothered to go back and look at what I'd worn earlier in the month. I literally just couldn't keep track of it. And normally I'm such a big earring person. I don't know if you can tell. There were so many things I was thinking about, have I worn this bag already? Have I worn this coat already? Have I worn these shoes already? The earrings, it was just fuck it, you know, they usually are such a thing that I would sort of throw on at the end to add some personality. And it just became such a chore that I just dispensed with it entirely. Another thing I noticed, a lot of the outfits, you know, I liked a lot of them. I think I came up with some combos this month that I actually really dug, but looking back there are other things where it's just oh yeah, that's an outfit. I have found this problem in the past when doing similar things. I was running a fashion blog around 2009, 2010. It became very de rigueur and very cool to do these things, these sort of capsule wardrobe challenges, like the 30 for 30, where you would pick out 30 items of clothing for 30 days and you'd only wear those. And the idea was to force yourself to come up with things and combine things in a new way and really appreciate the clothing that you had. I remember taking part in these challenges, and a lot of the stuff that I wore, those were always the outfits where I'd look back and be like, girl, what were you doing? It just seems so forced, right? Because I wasn't wearing stuff in a way that felt natural and germane to my own style. I was doing it because I felt like I had to do it. I don't mind the idea of forcing yourself out of the comfort zone. The problem is that the comfort zone is often where your fashion sense sort of lives. I might own the same black sweater and the same trench coat and the same pair of jeans as you, but I might choose to wear them with completely different things and style them in completely different ways. The differences between those two are the reasons why one thing will feel like you and one thing will feel like me. I don't necessarily think that you need to be reinventing yourself constantly with each look, right? I might be wearing the same black mock neck sweater constantly. I do wear the same black mock neck sweater constantly, but there's a reason for that. It's because it makes sense with all the stuff I wear to me. The proportions are correct to me. It makes everything else in my wardrobe feel like a Nat outfit. That to me, I think, is the crux of style in a lot of ways. My sort of takeaway from all this is the comfort zone is not necessarily a bad place to be. Outfit repeating is not necessarily a bad thing. Item repeating, buying multiples, that kind of thing is not necessarily a bad thing, because I think that where you sort of are naturally guided by your impulses, that's your style. That having been said, I think experimentation is a great thing. I think that sometimes if you do something and you know you don't like it, that in and of itself is a good enough signal for what you do like, right? I look at writing the same way. You know, I'm a writer and an editor for my job, and a lot of time I'll just force myself to come up with something so that I can go back and look at it later and be like, well, I don't know what I want, but I know that what I want is not that. It didn't give me a lot of new outfit ideas or whatever, but it did kind of crystallize my sort of feelings around what makes you you in a fashion sense. I also did kind of enjoy the fact that I was forced to kind of dig some stuff out of my closet I wouldn't normally wear. The bags especially. It was really good to have an objective reason to be forced to actually bust some of those out. Although I will say having to change my bag every 3 days kind of meant not knowing where my keys and wallet were a lot of the time, so this is not a great challenge for the terminally disorganized, I'll say that now. Anyway, yeah, that was my little wardrobe speedrun. Curious to hear what you guys thought. Would you ever try this? Do you feel like you're kind of a wardrobe repeater? Always happy to hear from y'all. Thank you for bearing with me on my long break. There wasn't really a reason for me not uploading for a while. I just decided it was more fun to play video games than edit YouTube videos. But I'm back now. So I hope you guys dug this. Take care. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.